What if I was reincarnated as Spider-Man in the MCU? Before I get started, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Start with Peter waking up. It says, Harry, what we decided to do this party on a Friday, Harry. Says, yeah, it was pretty good, but now we got to get all these people up time, skip Harry. And Peter and Felicia, Harry, says, do you want to get some breakfast or something? Peter says, I'll stay for some breakfast. What about you, Felicia? Peter turns on the news, and the news station says attack was on the building. Peter says, Harry, something happened at the Oscar building. Look at this. Harry says, my dad was at the Oscar building last night. He was working late. Peter says, do you want to go there? Harry says, maybe it's my dad. The police might be onto it, but something this big, the police could be onto it. Peter says, Harry says, what about my dad? Though Peter says we're just going to have to wait. They're probably just scanning the building. We don't know when this happened, and we don't know what happened at the building anyway. Peter's thinking inside his head, he did it last night. He experimented on himself, got to hurry up with the antidote. If it's a green goblin on the loose, and I'm definitely going to have to work on it. Peter says, how about you come over to my house, and we'll just wait now. We'll play video games. We walk to the park pad. That's what Harry, that's what he called it, as they get you Peter's house. Aunt May and Uncle Ben says, how was the party last night, Peter? Said it was pretty good. Can Harris stay over today? Uncle Ben's sure. They go upstairs. Peter said, what do you want to play? Harry said, what do you think attacked to the lab last night? Peter says, I don't know. By telling you from the big hole from the building. It had to be big and had to be strong. I think your dad was experimenting with creatures of any sort. After Peter and Harry are done playing video games, they turn on the news, and the news lady says, Harry Osborn has been found and being transferred to the hospital to police, and the paramedics are still trying to find the drivers. Peter says, your father is being moved to a hospital. They found him. Harry said they found him. Peter says yes. Harry says, can we go there now? Peter says, sure, let me get Uncle Ben. Peter says, Uncle Ben, can you drive us to T? He hospital? Uncle Ben says, sure. What's this? Tell your aunt name we're going? They rush to the hospital. Reel to the person at the front desk. Harry says, has Harry Osborn came into the hospital yet? The person at the front desk says, what relationship do you have with him? Harry says, I'm his son. He's already been in the hospital room. You can come see him now. Peter, Uncle Ben, and Harry rushes to his room. The nurse in his room says, you must be Harry. Harry says, what type of state is he in? We just got in, but he's still alive. He's okay physically, but it seems like he's inside in some type of coma. Is he ever going to wake up? That's what Harry says. We don't know. The nurse says we suspected waited that this accident that happened at the tower probably happened like last night or something. Luckily, we got him out. We'll keep you posted. Peter says, Harry, you can stay over tonight. You shouldn't be alone. Harry said, I left the side once. I'm not doing it again. Peterson says he would want you to get some sleep. Come on. We can visit him in the morning. See if anything changes. Harry said, okay. Come on, let's get some pizza or something. And let's watch some Star Wars or something. Time has passed. He is in the spare bedroom, knocked out sleep. Everybody's knocked out sleep but Peter. Peter looks at the time that he gave Felicia to meet up tonight on the rooftop. He changes into his Spider-Man suit and goes out the window, meeting Felicia on the rooftop. Spider-Man finally swings to the rooftop. Felicia says, finally you get here. Felicia says, what took you so long? Spider-Man says, I got all of her stuff to do. So Spider-Man says, tell me your story. How did this fully start out? Felicia pulls out a laptop showing the video about how her father went to a store and got framed for having the loop in his session because someone framed him with his old cat gear. Felicia says, my father was finally about to start a new life. Finally give up all the news, all the crime and everything. And then someone framed him. Spider-Man says, who you think framed him? The Kingpin. Felicia says, Peter says the Kingpin inside his head. Oh boy, I'm already dealing with the Kingpin. And the Green Goblin may be okay one issue at a time. Spider-Man says, maybe we can find one of the people that work for him. Spider-Man pulls out a spider treasure. Felicia says, has these ever worked before? Spider-Man says, I just made them today. I don't know. Felicia says, then let's catch him. Spider-Man says, do you know anywhere that they go or warehouse? A place that they mostly be at, or Felicia pulls out a map. All the locations of the Kingpin warehouse is Spider-Man. Says, you've been busy. Felicia says, I had extra time on my hands. Spider-Man says, which one is the closest? Felicia, the downtown one. Spider-Man, shoot the web. Felicia says, not all of us can shoot webs, you know. Spider-Man, give the hand. To Felicia, Spider-Man says, take my hand. Felicia takes Spider-Man. Spider-Man says, hang on tight. There's one at the warehouse. They get on top of the rooftop. Felicia tries to rush in. Spider-Man says, do you have a plan? You can't just rush and you see how many people are there. Alicia says, you need to give yourself more credit. I seen how many people you took down last night. Spider-Man says, yeah, I have powers, but that's a lot of people. We need a plan. We can't rush in. Felicia said, so what's the plan? Spider-Man says, how many guys are down there? And probably like 10 or 14. Spider-Man says, stay here. Spider-Man thinks of a plan. Spider-Man thinks to himself, I'm just going to repeat from the video games from my past life. He thinks inside his head, climbs into a window, shoot on web, land on a box. One of the people goes toward the box. As they separate the person that is by himself, now Spider-Man goes down on his web and pull him up and put him in a web cocoon. He does that for a couple more times. He keeps playing the same trick until he goes invisible and knocks two people unconscious, tying them up with his web. He's good. He go back on the rooftop. Felicia, we can go. We can go inside now. Felicia's house are all types of different tricks. I also put a spider tracker on one of them. I let him run. I let one of them go so they can go back to Kingpin. Spider-Man says, what are they guarding? We're going to have a little bit closer. That's what Spider-Man said. Spider-Man says, I'll see you a little bit later. Do you want me to drop you off somewhere? Felicia says on. Felicia says, do you have a phone or a phone number? So we can call each other. Spider-Man says, I'm working on that. Spider-Man says, I'm a Carnival, still a new hero. So I'm still trying to get stuff all situated. And stuff, while Spider-Man is swinging back to his house. He sneaks and takes off his makeshift Spider-Man suit. And while he's doing that, someone in the office, one of the guards at Peter Let Go, says, Mr. Kingpin, we've been stopped again. Kingpin says, you've been stopped by who? The same guy that stopped us before this. Spider-Person. He picks up this guy and says, if you fail me again, you don't want to worry about what will happen. I want you to find him, and I wanted to bring him to me. I want to know his identity. He's been close to anything about him. That's the end of this part.